Now, if you've been in the market considering a new PC for your office, home office, or for your, let's say, workshop, but don't want to really invest in a significantly large computer, then you'll want to check out this video because we're going to be taking a look at this mini PC here. And you heard that right. This is a mini PC. Let me just put my hand right here so you can. This is how big this is. A very small footprint, but also really powerful. And this is going to be a great PC for those of you who are looking for something to run, let's say, a desktop software, browse the web, let's say stream content. You can do that as well. And if you're a maker, like many of my friends are, and you're looking at maybe running 3D printing software, this can do it. If you're really looking at running X tools, let's say Creative Studio, this is going to handle it fantastically well. And even some desktop publishing, like if you want to be able to run Adobe Photoshop or Illustrator on this, you could as well. Point here is that this is a very small, compact solution that could even fit behind a monitor, minimizing the footprint of your workspace. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at its overall performance. We're going to take a look at all of the features. And I'll tell you, I've always been impressed with these mini PCs, and this one impresses me as well. So let's take a closer look. And mini PCs have come a long way. And from a processing perspective, I would have never imagined that a Core i9 processor would be in this. This thing is fast. When I was, navigating it, opening it up, doing, browser stuff, working on Xtool, Creative Space, this thing was just really chomping through those screens very, very fast. And a lot has to do with the fact that it's an Core i9. It has a 4.9 gigahertz processor. That is pretty fast. And the fact is that it also has some great memory. Now, it does have an Intel UHD graphics card, and it's 11 Gen. Now, that's an area where I can see that there's always an opportunity for improvement because I've never really seen those graphic cards do incredibly well when it comes to intense gaming. But for the other things that I just mentioned, for day-to-day business processing, word processing, browser processing, even some of the stuff, if you want to run Lightburn, if you want to run Xtool software on this, it's going to work and it's going to do really well. It also has 1 terabyte of space, which I think is pretty crazy. 1 terabyte of hard drive space, which gives you enormous capacity for growth. It also then has Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.2, which is also great for performance and also for connecting headphones and things of that nature. 32 gigs of RAM, and that's a dual channel model. And then basically you have a lot of expandability. Actually, all the specs that you see going on from this point on are about how you can expand, how much larger you can make things. And this does have, for this form factor, has a lot of expandability. The other thing is that it has a triple display option. And again, I was looking at this, I was scratching my head. How do you get triple displays when I only see one HDMI port? Well, it has an HDMI port. It also then has right here a DP port, but then also the USB-C port. That was the mystery number 3. Gives you also video out. So you can have up to 3 monitors connected on this. And I think that's pretty spectacular. So let's take a closer look because, again, there's a lot to like about this little computer. But at the same time, if we were to focus on the gaming side, I'll just tell you right now, from a gaming perspective, that Intel graphics card really holds it back. And you're going to see that in our benchmarking test as well. Now, in the box, you're going to have several things. You're going to have a mount, which is going to be able to mount on the back of a PC with Velcro. That's something I do. Or you can screw this down underneath the desk. And you have the power cord. Now, the power cord itself does not have a USB-C power input model, but a standard power port connector. And also it comes with an HDMI cable and some additional screws that you'll be able to use as you expand hard drive space and other aspects of what's going on inside of the mini PC. Now, as I mentioned, this mini PC is really powerful for the use cases that I gave. Is it going to be for someone who is focused on FPS? And this is how I'll put it. If you don't even know what an FPS is, then this is going to be good for you. If you're focused on FPS and you're really concerned about playing Fortnite and having the best FPS, that's not the PC for you, given the form factor and the size and the fact that it uses an Intel graphics card. Now, if you're looking to run Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, you're looking at, let's say Xtools, Creative Space, or Suite, running Bamboo Labs kind of stuff, all that stuff, this is going to be more than adequate and processes really well. And that's what I was actually testing on this. It did really well in all those areas. And as you take a look at what's going on here, you'll see USB-C to USB-A, audio, power, venting on each side. On the back, you have your HDMI, your DP, 4 USB-As, a little button here that allows you to eject the top, and then venting, and then also secure lock with your power button here, or your power supply option there. If I open this up here, it gives me access to memory, storage, whatnot. And you can see that if I remove this, there's a lot of space for expandability on something that's this small. So, for me, I would say this is definitely a nice PC. And we're going to take a look at the benchmark test so you can see what I'm referring to when it comes to the overall graphics performance, but then how does everything else perform? Now, before taking a look at the overall performance of this mini PC, I wanted to take a look at several of the settings just to confirm what the packaging says and then actually what the actual device has on board. I'm running this on a Samsung ultra wide monitor. This is probably super duper overkill, but I just want to give you a sense of how big this monitor is. So we'll pan all the way to the left, and you can see I'm still panning, still panning, still panning, and that's the corner. And then I'm going to go ahead and pan the other way. So we're going to do it slowly, not to upset anybody. And you can see super duper large. I can typically run 3 windows on this, one in the middle, one in the left, and one in the right. And now coming back to this area here on the screen, a couple things that I wanted to highlight. First of all, you can see that it does have an 11th generation Intel Core i9. Here are the specs, 2.5 gigahertz. You have 32 gig of install RAM, which I think is really good. And you're also running 64-bit operating system, right, of Windows. Now, I didn't go through the whole activation of Windows, but again, I just wanted to show you that that was there. And again, that's a Windows 11 Pro. This machine has been fully updated, so it's running the latest patches and any kind of downloaded firmware that was required is there. Now, the other thing I wanted to highlight is what's going on here on the side, and that is the disk. Like, I wanted to confirm what it said it had. So basically what you have is one drive, 1.17 gigabytes, and then you can see how it's broken down. So you have a portion of it is allocated to Windows, which is common and normal, and then you have also a system partition. So the drive is there, and the actual memory and again, operating system, everything is as expected. So what I did is I ran US benchmark or user benchmark. And one of the things I just wanted to highlight is that this machine performs really well. It's fast. As a desktop, this thing is performing like crazy, crazy well. And some of the things that I do, for example, or that I use my machines for is laser engraving, 3D printing, I do Canva. This is going to be more than adequate for doing any of those activities. I actually have, if I pan over to the left here for a second, you're going to see some of my main go-to applications will show up right there. And what I use here, and you can see this here on the side, is, I'm using Xtool software, using Bambo Studio. I also use, other Orca Slicer, for example, and Chrome. And I may have some desktop software that I run, but pretty much everything I run is off of the web. So don't really have a lot on the desktop except files and obviously network access. So how well does this machine perform? Running, again, user benchmark against this machine. So from a gaming perspective, it didn't do so well. And I will tell you that the reason why it didn't score as high as it could have is purely in one area. And you can see it's the graphics, because everything else it did really, really well. So you'll notice that, again, it performed poorly in this area. From a desktop perspective, it's like really, really high in the percentiles. And then as a workstation, it also didn't do too well. And that's primarily because of the graphics. So if you take a look at what's going on here, you can see what, where is it in the actual range of scoring. From a processor perspective, it's doing really well. So look at where it's at. It's in the green area, almost, close to 100%. It's 89.9. That is a good score, right? So the fact that this is performing so well, this is really doing really nicely, right? So that's an excellent score. The graphics card is where it suffers, right? So here we have an Intel UHD graphics card, and again, that's pretty much a standard card, and that's where it says that it doesn't perform as well as it should. That's an area for improvement. But I found that to be pretty much the same consistently with a lot of these mini PCs. How well do the other components perform, right? So you'll notice here that it's, again, doing outstanding as well when it comes to, again, the drive itself. So the drive is a fast drive. That's really good. And then from a memory perspective, it's performing really well as well. Excellent score, right? So it's giving us, again, it's in the green. And from a latency, frames per second, all that stuff, it is an adequate machine. It's just that one specific area where we have some trouble. So the question then becomes, how well does this product perform? Well, I just want to give you a sense. I'm just going to click through some of the things that are going on here. And again, these pages have never been loaded. And I just want you to see how quickly these pages load. Now, I have a gigabit
internet connection, right? But this is connected via wireless. This is going really, really fast. If I were to go to some of the common sites that I go to, so I'm here looking at some laser stuff, you notice this is a really good browsing experience. So it's giving me that. But as we look at some of the more graphic intensive things like gaming, it does okay, but not great. You saw that the score is actually relatively low. Overall, I think that this is a great, I would say, PC. If you're not looking to have a large desktop, and I just want to show you where I have this little guy. So pardon all my cables because I had to move the PC out of the way, and I got a lot of stuff going on here. But here I have it connected, and it's doing really well. It's silent. I don't hear anything. It's relatively warm here, not like hot. It's kind of warm right here in this area. Here it's cool. All the way around here is cool, but I feel like some warmness right here. And this may be where the memory is. Could be CPU. I just found that that was something interesting, and meaning that I can touch it and I can tell the difference between cool and a little bit warm in this area. You'll notice also that again, as we take a look at just the overall footprint, it's a small PC. It's a mini PC. So I kind of really like these. I kind of dig these. And actually what I have in this setup, because I can mount these behind monitors and under tables or desks. This is a stand-up desk, by the way. It just, to me, suits kind of my workflow. So I really like these a lot. But again, it's not going to be a crushing gaming, uh, high core, type processing machine due to the actual graphics card that it has.
So, guys, I do recommend this little guy here for those of you who are not intense gamers. If you're looking for a great workshop PC that doesn't take up a lot of space, this is it. If you're going to be using stuff for Lightburn, creative space, think about all the things that we were talking about. This is going to be a great thing. But if you're focused on FPS, this is not it because of the graphics card that it has, and obviously the form factor. But everything else, it's a beast. It's fast and it's great.